Hello rogues and witches, this is Leo K. I'm gonna play some Anomalith today. The demo for this is out. It's out for a limited time. I don't think it's gonna be up forever, so might as well do it now. Check it out. I have played this once before, and I enjoyed it enough to play it again and record this video. So this is a survival horror game by Furyu. They make a lot of RPGs, a lot of anime style games that don't really have the highest budgets. There are some pretty good ones. I think most recently they made Reynatis, which was not very good. I'm excited to try this out. I like survival horror games a great deal, and I enjoyed this game's vibe. I'm not going to be looking at most cutscenes and most dialogues. They can be pretty long. I really want to talk about the gameplay here and the vibes and everything, so let's just get into it. So in this game, we play as this character named Rayona. She is sent in to dive in these anomalous locations. And can I actually turn off tutorials? Is that a thing? Nope, I don't think so. That's fine, we're just gonna end up seeing those. Anyway, we can collect items. We have our shortcuts here. We can select weapons. Here's our introduction to our first enemy. These are basically zombies. If you've played a survival horror game before, you know how these work. Note that shooting them in the body gives us blue or light damage numbers, and shooting them in the head gives us brownish, orangish damage numbers, which are worth a lot more. You can often get away from them by kind of just like sprinting toward them or sprinting away from them, so that can be very handy. Looking around the environment is typically rewarded. There are many of these little containers you can open that will have items in them. Items can be things like ammo, healing, and materials, which are used to develop different technologies and upgrades.
人類に有効的なアノマリーの可能性があります。攻撃は許可できません。距離を取りつつ情報を収集してください。報告をお願いします。
So that guy gets kind of cooked. Hopefully the same does not happen to us. Getting headshots is important, but not missing is also very important. I want to make sure, yes, I did pick these up. I'm gonna register these grenades to right. You can also quicksort your inventory by pressing Y or triangle, which is quite handy. More SMG ammo, big fan. Eventually we'll be able to stun these guys and hit them with contextual melee, Resident Evil, like Leon Kennedy style. But for the time being, it is not yet a thing. Can't go further up here, I don't think. There's an enemy there. I think there's some boxes right here, at least one. You do have a quick turn, worth knowing. This is kind of a fun room. Hopefully we don't get rolled here. I don't know how much damage that like meaningfully did. I think they were a bit too spread out. Let's just bait some attacks from these guys by walking in range and then sprinting back out. This way it gets them to stop moving a little. I think I'll finish this guy with my pistol. Nice. Any more? Or was that it? There might be more. Just grab more SMG ammo. Yep, there's more. I'm gonna throw one of these. Bait this attack. Finish this guy with my pistol again. Cool. It is a survival horror game, but it's not altogether that scary. It's very bright, it's very colorful, it has a very anime style. Granted, things like Signalis also have a pretty anime style, but they're significantly scarier. At least, like, they're presented scarier. This game doesn't really have that much, like, fear. It's the gameplay aspects of survival horror, which were always my favorite part anyway. Here we meet this girl who's very full of herself and overconfident. She decides to follow us while talking up a big deal, blowing a lot of hot air, claiming she's a big shot, but she kind of sucks. Don't worry about it. She will be an important character for us later. Nice. Nice. Need to run past this one again. Yeah, like, decisively running into range and then running past them to get them to put an attack on the screen that you can just, like, run under, essentially, is pretty strong. Definitely do not discount it. And don't forget that you can do it. Let's grab this. More handgun ammo. Enemies also tend to drop ammo, which is more of, like, the action horror style. So, feel free to just expend your ammunition. Don't worry so much about that. Notably, our character, Riona, is half mutated, so she can parry, and hopefully I don't fuck this up. Nice, got it. We have to do that a few more times. Nice. And then we also have a pretty strong slash. Note that parrying and slashing both consume mana, which is a resource separate from our ammo and our health. So at this point, we wake up back at our base. You're going to be coming back here every once in a while in order to craft items, in order to deploy on missions and other such things. So if I remember correctly, there were a few notable things that we could pick up around here. Just trying to remember where they all were. This is the deployment gate. We'll go here in order to actually deploy on real missions. This box is in the HTL Anomaly facility, and you can fast travel to places, so feel free to just go ahead and do that. When you try to go to the deployment gate, they will tutorialize how to customize guns. I think we can only customize our handgun at this point, so we might as well just get some attack power. We get access to a firing range to test stuff out. I don't think this actually consumes ammo. Like, if I fire this, will it take? No, it won't. You can also test your claw attack here. That doesn't cost anything either. And enemies that are knocked down can be clawed as well. Alright, at this point we get access to the scanner, which is like this little mechanic here, this circle that you can put on the screen with your Y or triangle button. When you do this, and there are collectibles nearby, it will kind of start flickering and pointing in their direction. And this has no cost, this doesn't have any kind of limiting factor on it. You can pretty much put the circle on and keep it on the entire time while you play. Which means there is kind of no reason not to do so, right? I do think the wishlist now Anomalith backpack that she's wearing for the demo is pretty funny. How many grenades do we even have right now? I need to re-hotbar them. 4. That's not bad at all. Anything else I didn't pick up here? Blue trash can. Medium sedative. Another trash can here. Medium sedative. Nice. So part of the lore in this universe is that when you enter anomaly zones, they tend to seal behind you, or rather the agency that is sending you in seals them behind you. The reason this is done is because that causes more data to be acquirable, and they want that data. That's like your main thing that you're doing for them. Since you are partially a monster, you can kind of dump your health into your mana gauge, like that, which is pretty handy at times, but it's not something you should feel forced into doing. Because a lot of the time you can get mana just by killing enemies. About the only time you should really be concerned about not having enough mana is like if you really need to parry something. Because parrying requires mana, which is one of the ways it's balanced. That's the little brutal raid mechanic we get access to. Right, like when an enemy is downed, we can run up to them for a melee. Pretty handy. If you're not really much of a parry gamer, you can typically just run out of the way of enemies. But if we go this way... You dead? Yeah, you're dead. We'll go over here momentarily. There are some more items to get up here in this safe. Safes usually have a bunch of stuff, like you can see how much that just gave me. I believe there's one of these jellyfish on the other side here, if I'm not mistaken. Was there? Or was it just the enemy? Like the zombie? I guess it's just the zombie. Okay. So yeah, nothing is stopping you from just like setting up a melee from the other side of a little crawl space. Or like a squeeze through, rather. And then just taking the prompt once you're on the other side. I think that's everything here. We're gonna go up to the second floor. There's an enemy. Oh. There's usually an enemy here. Weird. Can they spawn in different places? Maybe it actually walked down the stairs already and we took it out earlier. That would not surprise me. I'm gonna check how much stuff I have in my inventory. Okay, it's quite a lot. Don't worry, we will soon be able to offload items. So at this point we reach the second floor of the hospital and we get introduced to portals. They claim portals can be used to warp back to base, but they are an unproven, untested technology, and so because they don't want anything gory and unseemly to happen to our player character, our support team basically says, hey, try not to use this portal with your actual body, but you can use it to send items back to base. So this is how we deal with having like a bunch of stuff in our pockets, and we can just like send it back home, like so. The way this actually looks in gameplay is through this send item interface. You can click the right stick to just like auto send all materials, and then all functional or usable items you can just keep with you. Over here is a room with a bunch of enemies. We're gonna throw a grenade in the middle of them all. Ideally that damages all of them, and or even kills all of them. Yep. Very efficient. Literal bang for buck. All of these materials that don't seem to have an immediate use, they're used to like develop weapons and whatnot. Gonna hit my reloads. Don't think there's anyone else approaching me. Pick up all this matter. Are you real? Yep, you are real, and you're on this side. Your head popped off, so you're gonna disintegrate. Good stuff. Briefly check my map. Alright. I want to make sure that I didn't miss anything in this little hallway. Doesn't look like it. Did I grab this trash can? Yeah, it's open. Okay, cool. I mean, yeah, as you can see, it's pretty standard, like, survival horror stuff. I talk about this every once in a while on this channel, but survival horror games, Metroidvania games, Souls-like games, they all kind of have a very similar world structure. Like, the way you explore their worlds is very similar. This is no different. Gonna start using these grenades. Right. Very, very nice. I believe there is something nice for us in that hallway there. So let's grab this and then grab this. Wouldn't you know it, it is a shotgun. We are going to very immediately register this on down. Load my stuff real quick. Hold on, before we go this way. In this little side path, there's like a little enemy gauntlet. Right. All clear, it spawns a safe. As we remember, safes give a lot of really good stuff. If you can aggressively control space in these kind of games, it's always typically good. Oh, I actually cannot pick this up. When it says discard items, it actually means leave them on the ground. So this is not like something to be super concerned about. At this point, Riona notices some writing on the wall mentioning that there are survivors here. And the thing about the agency that she's working for is they're not terribly concerned about rescuing survivors, actually. Their whole thing is they just want the data that exists in these places. And survivors are basically just a liability to them, something that they encourage her not to pursue. But she is not gonna let that fly. She wants to save them. So we are going to investigate and try saving them. The actual objective here is to try to investigate all of these bloody messages on the walls. And once we get them all, we will know where to go next. This is a good opportunity to show you that you can just send everything. And once you do so, you can simply pick up the other items that are here and then send them as well. I hear some baddies shuffling around. Sometimes enemies have like gems on them, basically, that you can dislodge by actually hitting them with a gunshot. As long as you have full mana, you might as well use it to parry or claw something. There's a zombo behind this little thing here. These guys, what I like about these enemies is that they're not actually always gonna be in the same rooms, you know? It's really interesting. Like, they can really blindside you and catch you off guard from time to time. Oh, a lot of you in here. Getting wall splats feels so good. I'm just gonna run past this and then turn around because I know he's still here. You're gonna be walking and not really doing much anyway. Just reload your guns. No reason not to. Swap back to the SMG. Whenever I'm running low on shotgun ammo and I just want like general purpose damage, the SMG is usually my go-to. Although I do have a fuck ton of handgun ammo, so I should probably use it. Can I even capitalize on this? Oh yeah, I can. Not hard at all.
妙な反応がある。近くで正確な情報を取りて向かってくれ。まさか。
Yeah, you can't always run past them. It can be tricky from time to time. But this gives me an opportunity to show healing. I'll just go ahead and use a medium. I started my run a little too slow anyway. Yeah, at this point the world starts to get all weird and twisty. Once you have Claw though, the amount of times you will need to run past or through enemies is gonna be very small. Because you can always just proactively hit them like that. Just trying to see where they are. Interesting. Yeah, like the enemy spawns are different this time. Huh. This is really interesting. I didn't expect this. So even if you've played the game before, I guess there is an element of randomization. Let's go this way. Oh dear. Yeah, there is a big guy. I mean, you're not keeping me in this room, so I can just feel free to shoot you from out here. Are you dead? You're dead. See, last time I played the game, it was this room that the big battle was in. Whereas the previous room just had 2 jellies. Oh, good. This door now opens because it opens from this side. Nice. I think that's everything. This objective, I've read the above explanation. Terms and conditions, the only options are yes and yes. So then her support crew is like, yeah, sure, just hit yes, why not? What's the worst that could happen? So one thing worth noting is that a lot of these anomalies or phenomena, they're basically SCPs. They can all have very different effects. You even have like a little database full of them that you can read, which can be fun. But this one is what is called a landmark. And so a landmark is an anomaly that fully warps the space around it. It is why labyrinths are able to be generated in this universe. And some landmarks are attached to a boss monster, basically. In fact, I'm pretty sure almost all of them will be. So this one, when we try to destroy it, it does not quite go according to plan. We got this big guy here. The thing about this big guy, and why he's so interesting, is shots to the body and even claws to the body do very minimal damage to it. Instead, what we kind of want to do is shoot its, like, lights, right? They're currently not open, but now they are. Didn't make it in time, but this is a mechanic where you would want to run behind the pillars. Anyway. So this is what I mean, like standing your ground and parrying this guy so you can break all his lights is actually ideal. If you can land them, which, I mean, sometimes you don't get a good look at his body language because your gun's in the way. When all of them break, you get a melee prompt, which is quite cinematic and flashy. 530 damage from that. Not bad. Trying to do more of that. This attack, you just want to run toward him and then run to the side. Oh dear. Not bad. These orbs that he leaves behind are also breakable for ammo. Got his ass. One more like that and he should be dead. Since clawing doesn't really do much, you can kind of feel free to just use your claw on breaking ammo breakables. Not again, dude. Come on. You're dead. So yeah, like a pretty creative boss. It's not, you know, the most insane thing in the world, but it was pretty cool. You know, the first time a player fights it and they shoot the body, they're gonna be like, oh, I'm only doing 1 damage, right? Like, what's up with that? Then you might realize, like, oh, the light sticking out of its back can be shattered. Oh, we can blow up the landmark now. Run around, clawing down all these ammo objects. And that is the end of the demo. Overall, I would say I really enjoyed this. I'm definitely looking forward to the full game. I just like the vibe of like exploring, managing my ammo, fighting enemies, checking my corners, clearing space. I mean, it's a Furyu game. Like if you've ever played any of their other output, you know that they're fairly enjoyable 7 out of 10s with a lot of personality, right? Like that's kind of what they do. I think it's really cool to see that applied to a survival horror game with a kind of anime aesthetic. Big fan of that personally. Overall, I will probably pick this game up and play it very close to its release, if not on day one. Pretty competently put together. I mean, the combat feels reasonably good. The exploration is about what you'd expect, right? From time to time, I might do commentaries about different kinds of games like this, you know, showing stuff that I enjoyed, that I thought was cool, so please look forward to all of those as well. I guess as a closing statement, this dude in the top left of this illustration looks very cool. I'm very curious about who that character is. Note that you can play this demo yourself for a little while on Steam. I don't know if it's on consoles, but feel free to check it out if you can get your hands on it.